And just like that, here we are. Welcome, everybody. Hope everybody's doing well tonight. Hope everybody's warming up a little bit. It's finally, I was just telling the guys that we were about 70 yesterday, and I think we got up to 65 today. So hopefully spring's right around the corner. I hope so. Because as y'all know, I hate winter. I hate, I hate being cold. Uh, but anyway, yeah, it's doing pretty good. Mr. Paul, what's up with you, buddy? I see you still hashtag Team Flannel.
That's right. It's still cold here in Michigan. We got one more day around 30, and then it's going to get up in the 40s, and I might go out without a shirt on. Who knows?
Wow, that is something.
Set them free, Paul. Set them free.
Yeah. Yeah.
Other than that, there's not much new around Paul's Messy Workshop.
Okay.
Like I was telling you earlier, I think I got the winter blahs.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's easy to get these days. So hopefully it'll warm up there in Michigan, and you can get back down into your messy shop
Right.
and make some sawdust or chips or whatever. All right, Mr. Ballard, what's up with you, my friend?
Redecorating.
I see. I like the what is it, a sheet or a blanket or something? I'm digging it.
A blue tarp.
Okay. Oh, okay. That looks good.
Yeah.
Looks good.
Underneath that is Friday's video if anybody wants to see it.
Okay. Yeah. That's I'm glad you're explaining that so people know why you got that hanging up there. He doesn't want to spoil the surprise.
I want to spoil it.
So
there's 2,304 of those.
He will have a video going viral Friday.
Yeah, everybody needs to hit that hype button. Whatever that thing does, I don't know, but supposedly you're supposed to hit it.
I'm predicting a viral video for you, my friend.
I hope
Now,
so.
is that project complete?
Yeah.
Hey, 2 thumbs up for Ryan.
I finished it. I didn't include doing a frame around it, so I was like, I'm not going to do that right now because I might not do it. I might not complete it. I really want this stupid thing done. But it's pretty cool. I'm digging it. Every time I come down here, I start kind of laughing because it's pretty wild looking.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Jerry's reminding me we have a questions right off the rip
Oh yeah.
here. My good friend Landis Stutes, who sent
There
us
it is.
pictures of his awesome new upgraded CNC a couple of weeks ago, I guess.
Mhm.
He says when calculating steps per inch for Mach 3, do you use the same formula for ball screws as you do Acme threads? I calculated mine, but when I ran the calibration, there was a big difference. Yes, you do, because what you're measuring or putting in there in the formula is the pitch of the ball screw, just like the pitch of the lead screw. It's the same difference, really. Um, and I don't know for sure what ball screws you're running. I'm going to take a wild guess and say you're running a 1605, which means the pitch is 5 millimeters. And of course, if you're doing the Mach 3 and you're doing it in inches, it would be the 5 millimeters in inches, which is 0.196. And that's what I did with mine. Although not in Mach 3, but it's the same difference whether you're doing it in Masso or Mach 3 or whatever. You still have to use pretty much that same basic formula. So I'm not sure uh, what you're putting. I don't know if maybe you're putting 5 millimeters, forgetting that you're doing it in inches, or maybe you're doing it in millimeters and you're putting 196. I don't know, but that's it's all the same formula, just depending on whether you're doing it in millimeters or inches. I'm assuming you're going to do it in inches, and you would put 0.196, which is 5 millimeters. So hope that helps. Let me know if it don't, and we'll try to figure something else out. That should do it. Congratulations, Bill. He got his auto spin
Ooh, nice.
this afternoon. Congratulations, Bill. Please keep us posted on the, well, success or failure. I guess auto spin. I'm going to assume it's going to be a big success. Uh, and feel free to send pictures and or videos of that thing in action if you can do it.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
really curious to see how it works.
Yeah, yeah. Inquiring minds want to know. So, but let's see who else we got. We got Jerry, Andy from Virginia is warming up in Virginia. Kenneth's in the house. How you doing, Kenneth? Rob Hampton from down under. Good day, Rob. Marcelo, uh, our friend Marcelo's in there. Hope you're doing well. John Thompson's in the house.
No, John, no, I did not make a frame for it.
He better not make any door frame trim because we'll have to kick him out of his own
Yeah, my own club.
club, if he does
Yeah.
that. So, all right. Well, last week we'll start off slow here tonight. Last week, I once again was talking about these awesome O flute bits from my buddy Cody over there at Cadence Manufacturing and Design. And these are the two I hadn't even used these, but this is the 1/4 inch uh, O flute. I mean, just look at that bad boy. That thing is
That's nice.
pretty as all get out right there. And then, like I said, he threw in a couple of 1/8 inch, um, which I also used. I didn't use both of them, but I used the other one, not this one. And you'll notice that I didn't even think about it when he said he was going to throw in a couple of 1/8 inch bits. But normally, when I buy a 1/8 inch bit, I purposely buy it with a 1/4 inch shank, just so I don't have to fool with a 1/8 inch collet. So these came, and I didn't even think about it till I got out there ready to run some aluminum, and I'm like, oh, where did I put that 1/8 inch collet that I never used? So I had to go digging around, and I finally found one. I think I found some fairly quick, but they weren't marked. And then I kept digging around. And I found one that had the little engraving thing where it says 1/8 on the top of it. So that's the one I use, and it all worked out good. Um, in fact, I know the internet rule: uh, pics or video, or it didn't happen, right?
Right.
So here we go. That's the 1/8 inch bit doing some, I think, 165 holes in 3/8 inch aluminium. And then this is the 1/4 inch doing a much larger hole. And I pocket the whole thing out. I don't try to do the profile. That little black thing, that's my little thing from my laser air pump. I 3D printed that little straw thing. And then here's a picture of my latest 3D printed contraption that I made to where I can just slide that little straw like thing in there, and it will blow down towards the bottom of the thing. So
Nice.
that
Yeah.
that's going to work out pretty good, I think. Keeping the chips blown away. So we'll see. And then, of course, if you want to see the parts, I've got those here as well. Let's see if I can. I'm probably going to screw
Kenneth's
it
asking what speeds of feeds are you running?
up. I'll just hold them up like this. This is good. Now, I did put these long sides are not as pretty because I had tabs in there to keep it from moving. But you can see on the side where there was no tabs, I guess that's focusing. I don't know. Just
Close.
real pretty on that thing. So real good finish. Holes. I mean, this video is probably not doing them justice, but everything came out really nice. I've
Sweet.
since uh, I've since tapped some of the holes.
Yeah.
Uh,
That looks like it's sized for a NEMA 34 motor.
no, not an EMA 34. It's not that big.
NEMA 27.
Let's try 23.
Okay.
We're going to be talking about motors and stuff tonight also. So, but test parts. That's all it is. Anyway, feeds and speeds. Who asked that? Kenneth. Um, with the 1/8 inch bit, I was doing 17,000 RPM, which I think, if I remember right, I think that's what he's got on here. Yeah, 17,000 RPM, 60 inches per minute, 30 inches on the plunge. And Cody had on here a 16th depth of cut. I wasn't that brave because since he sent me these, I didn't want to break them like right away. I wanted to finish the parts. So I went much more conservative on the depth of cut. I went 20 thousandths on the 1/8, which would be like 0.4 of a millimeter or something if you're into the metric stuff. And then when I went to the 1/4 inch one, which did that larger hole and the parting out. Oh, he doesn't have it on this one. It may be on the other. Anyway, I used 17,000 RPM for the spindle speed, um, 80 inches a minute for the feed rate, a 30-second or like 0.032 for the depth of cut. What else am I missing? I can't think of what I'm missing. Depth of cut. The plunge. Yeah, I think I did 30 on the plunge too. And I did ramp stuff in. Um, I was just trying to be real cautious because I'm like, well, it's nice of Cody to send me two of these 1/8 things, but I don't want to just go crazy and break them right off the get go. So I used a little conservative thing. So I think once I saw that 1/8 inch cut, I think I probably could have done quite a bit more. I don't know if I'd have wanted to go a 16th because I don't know if he's putting those in there. I don't think those are necessarily settings for aluminum. They might be. I don't know, but I would think you would need to be a little more conservative doing aluminum. And like I said, they came out perfect. I couldn't have asked for anything better. So, all right. Let's see if we got any more comments or questions. Or Jerry wants to know what I use for coolant. I did not use any coolant. I do because I'm using a router with MDF table. I don't ever use any liquidy WD or anything like that. I just blow the air. I either use air to blow the chips to get them away from the cut, or I use the vacuum cleaner. Uh, so one or the other. Uh, but as far as using something to keep the bit cool, uh, WD or cutting oil or anything like that, no, I'm not using anything. And as you saw at the end of that little short video, I will be using the air that I now have directed where I don't have to hold it by hand because I got out there, started cutting, and I'm like, well, I don't even have a way to connect this thing. So I was thinking of that while I was running it. And then once it got done, I got out my sketch pad and, sketched it up and uh, came in here and used my good old Design Spark Mechanical to create that and put that hole. The first time I put the hole, I put it at a 45 and that didn't work. So I had to run another one and I changed it. I think I moved it back straight 15 more degrees. Uh, so it's more of a 60-degree angle, I think, than a 45. But as you saw in the little video picture there, it's pointing right at the bottom at the bit there. Michaels makes a good point. I love cutting aluminum. I hate cleaning it up for 3 weeks after. Yeah, my carpet, you know, from where I come from the garage in back into the house, I keep seeing little shiny specks everywhere where it's stuck to my shoes. I had it all over. It's in fact, it probably still is all over my golf cart that's out there. That's there. I mean, the stuff just goes everywhere. Uh, it really does. It just flies around everywhere. So I'm going to
Well,
work on some other things to try to control that a little better. You can stay tuned for what I got in the works that might fix that.
have you ever heard of the channel called Ambition Strikes?
Ambition Strikes.
Yeah.
I don't think I have. Are they a CNC channel or?
No, not really. They're it's a couple that lives up in the Pacific Northwest, and they do different projects. Like there's they built a container cabin and stuff like that. And now they're building a boat that was a former Navy boat, and he had the in this last week he's ripping off the bottom because it's all so corroded real bad. But it's an aluminum boat, so he's under there with the saw like hacking away at all the underneath of it. And it was just reminded of like all the chips. I mean, because he pops up and he's just like covered with like aluminum chunks everywhere.
Yeah, well, I tell you, I got a little bit worried because, as you know, I now have the world's most clingy dog.
Yeah,
So I tried, I had the heater on in the shop because it was kind of cold that day. I think it was probably about 40 or so. So I had the heater on in the shop, but what I did is I left the door open to the not the garage door, but the door to the house, hoping that Bear would just stay there at the doorway and stay away from the
The
chips
loud, noisy
because
things.
he will not wear safety glasses. I'm not. He would just will not wear them. But the knucklehead, he'd come right up to the thing and then look up at me, and I'm like, all this stuff's flying. And I'm like, oh man, I'm gonna have to take him to bed and get aluminum picked out of his eyeballs. But yeah, I finally had to shoo him away and get him to stay back. But still, uh, that stuff goes everywhere. Me and him tracked in. I probably got enough to make another part if I'd vacuum it up out of the carpet right there. Because we keep it sticks to your shoes and
Oh
you
yeah,
walk in and it gets in the carpet and it's when you run the vacuum cleaner, it sounds like you're doing marbles or
yeah.
something, you know. But I mean, I like making stuff out of aluminum, but man, is it freaking messy. And I don't want to run my big dust collection because
Yeah, you don't
that
want that
stuff
heat.
is so dusty, and I'm always afraid I'll pick up a hot chip or something, and hours later when I have shut everything off and quit and come in, it's smoldering away and uh, uh,
Yeah,
it's burning my house down. So I do not run dust collection. I'd rather just make a mess, and then when I vacuum it up, I just use the shop vac best I can. Okay. Landis says, thanks, Dave. Just ran the numbers. I did forget to convert 5 millimeters to inches. Came out almost perfect with calibration numbers. Awesome. Okay. Yeah, that's the way it should work. Because I had to do the same thing with Masso. You have to tell it the how much it's moving in one revolution, and mine's a 5 millimeter ball screw, which means it moves 0.196. So, all right, good deal. I'm glad you got that straightened out. So, all right. I was going to show you something. I got an interesting. Well, I saw it on Facebook also, but I'm going to open this up so I can click on this here. Okay, I don't know what that's doing. Let me turn that back off. Let me get this over here, and I'll do a screen share and see if I can get my computer to bomb out. Wait a minute. Is that screen share screen? All right. Well, now my screen share's not. Oh wait, there it is. There we go. I wasn't holding my mouth right or something. All right. So I'm gonna put this up here. This is the email, and you may have seen these on Facebook. I think on their Facebook group or whatever. But Masso
yeah,
now has servo motor systems, which is freaking cool if you ask
yeah.
me. So they're now selling servo motors with the driver and all the cabling and everything you need. Uh, and we're going to talk about the different types of motors uh, tonight, just for giggles. But uh, you'll notice that. Well, I'm gonna show you some pricing when we talk about the other. Well, let's just do that first before we. Let me remove this. Let's see here. Get that out of the way. Let's start with the most common probably. We'll just start with a plain old stepper motor, and I think let's see where it's at here. Yeah, let me move this over here. Okay, so the plain old stepper motor. Yeah, come on, Dave. is there's like I said, Masso's now coming out with a servo motor, but there's really about three different types. There's the open loop steppers, which is probably the most common of stepper motors. The closed loop stepper motors, which seems to be the big thing now, and the price has come down a lot on those, where they're really not much more than the open loop steppers.
Hmm.
And then, of course, servo motors. So you've got those three types. So I thought, well, I'm going to, you know, uh, Google Gemini. The AI is so good at putting this stuff into a thing. So I asked Google Gemini to tell me what the differences between open loop stepper motors, closed loop stepper motors, and servo motors for a hobby CNC router, and what are the advantages and disadvantages of each. So it came up with this awesome list that I'm going to read off here, or I guess I could share it like this so y'all can see it too. But the open loop stepper motors, that's pretty much the standard choice. They move in discrete steps, usually 1.8 degree, which means there's 200 steps per revolution of a stepper motor. Controller sends a pulse, the motor moves, but the bad thing is there's no feedback, so the controller assumes the motor moved, but it doesn't really know whether it did or not. So that can, as we all know, that could cause a huge problem when you're trying to run a machine. So one of the pros for the open loop stepper motors could be obviously that it's the cheapest option, very simple to wire. Usually, most of them just have four wires, and high torque at low speeds, not so much at high speeds. The cons are if the tool hits a hard knot or you push it too fast, the motor loses steps. And since there's no feedback, it doesn't know. The, it's not being told whether it's making it or not. So if it loses steps, no feedback, machine keeps running the program in the wrong place, potentially ruining your workplace. And I know we probably all had that happen at some time or another.
Yep.
And it's no fun. Especially when it's on like the last tool path or something. No fun at all. So for the open loop stepper motors, best for the budget builds, engraving, and beginners learning the ropes. So, okay, now here's what it has to say about the closed loop stepper motors. They're calling this the reliable middle ground. These are standard steppers with an encoder mounted on the back. This encoder talks to the driver to confirm the position. And one of the pros is it eliminates lost steps. If the motor misses a step due to a load, the driver immediately corrects it, or if it can't correct it, it will trigger an alarm to stop the machine. And this I did not know. Uh, it says they also run cooler and quieter than open loop versions. I did not know that, but they probably do because you know that the regular steppers, the open loop steppers, they do get pretty toasty sometimes. So, all right, now a con for the closed loop steppers would be that they're a little bit more expensive than the open loop and they require more wiring because you got power plus encoder cables. And I'm going to show you a couple of examples here when we get done with this. Uh, they are more expensive, but really not that much like they used to be. They used to be quite a bit more expensive than the open loop. Um, and it says they are best for the serious hobbyists who want to set it, forget it reliability without the cost of servos. Okay. And then finally, we have the servo motors, the high end choice. Unlike steppers, servos are brush or brushless DC motors that require constant feedback to function. They don't move in steps, but rather in a continuous fluid motion governed by a sophisticated PID loop. The pros is incredible speed and consistent torque across the entire RPM range. So the torque stays the same whether it's slow or fast, unlike the other two. They're much faster than steppers and extremely precise. Of course, the cons are they're more expensive, complex to tune. You have to calibrate software parameters to prevent oscillation. Usually requires gear reduction for CNC use because they spin very fast. Okay, and of course, here's a little chart that uh, um, put out here. Uh,
Hey, Paul, I think you're feeding back a little bit.
I am?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
all right.
Is that
Uh,
better?
well, we'll know when I get talking here whether we get
Okay.
back through there or not. Uh, So it says, so which one of these should you choose? Well, it says for most hobbyists, building a 2x2 or 4x4 router, closed loop steppers are currently the sweet spot. And I think that's more and more true because you see a lot of the companies that are selling CNC machines now. That's what they're going with. Their
Yeah,
budget
even
machine
even
will have still have the maybe the open loop, but
yeah.
they do offer a higher version where they can do the closed loop steppers. Then they've got a fancy chart here on how you figure out your torque and stuff like that, your torque requirements. I'm not going to get into that. There it is. If you want to know, T equals F times P over 2 pi times N, with F being the total force, P is the lead pitch of the ball screw or lead screw. Um, N is the efficiency of the screw, and then they give you some what it normally is for the ball screw and the lead screw. But let's see here. I'm reading. You can see where Gemini keeps coming up, and it says, "Well, do you want me to do this?" After it solved one thing. So, but anyway, it just kind of goes through the safe bet. Is pretty much for a hobbyist is a NEMA 23. It's the best power to weight ratio. The torque, if you go with a 2 Newton meter to 3 Newton meter, which is 280 to 425 ounce, that typically works pretty decent. System type, closed loop stepper is probably the safe bet now, they're saying. And of course, power, everybody likes more power. 48-volt power supply is highly recommended over the 24-volt to prevent the motor from choking at high speeds. And it goes on to say why it works. NEMA 17s, normally when you think of NEMA 17, you think of, 3D printer or engraving type laser, that kind of thing, because they lack the muscle to push a spindle through hardwood. So they're okay at just moving a laser or a print head around, but not so much when it comes to moving a spindle of some type. And of course, NEMA 34s says are often overkill. They have so much mass that they actually struggle to accelerate quickly, which can make your 3D carvings take longer. I have NEMA 34s, as you know, on my latest build out there on every axis but the Z. The Z still running a NEMA 23. And I haven't had any problem. I really like having a big old honking motor on there. So,
Yeah.
but anyway, that's my little, or I should say, Google Gemini's little take on the different thing. Now let me remove this, and I'll queue up these other
No
things
replacement
here.
or displacement.
So what I did is I went on one of my favorite sites or places to buy stepper motors and drivers and such as that. And I just kind of went through and picked a basic one, like here's what they talked about: 3 Newton meter, 425 ounce. This is a 4-axis kit, which would be pretty typical. I've bought, I don't know how many of these over the years. And I can remember when these things were like 350, $400 for this kind of a kit.
Oh yeah.
And they've come down drastically in price. Now, I can't click on this because this is a screenshot, but you notice I have United States ships from the United States. If you click China and you're willing to wait for them to come on the slow boat, it's even cheaper than this. But for United States, $208.28, and that's pretty daggum cheap, I think, for a decent motor for a hobby machine or a
Yeah.
system for a hobby
Looks like
machine.
it's the 542s on that with it too.
It's the DM 542Ts. It's got two 36 volt. Well, you can't see it here because, like I said, this is a screenshot, but it comes with two 36-volt power supplies, which typically is enough to run these 425 ounce NEMA 23 motors, and then with the DM 542Ts. So, I mean, that's a great little system,
Yeah.
uh, and it would do fine. You see, it's 208 and some change. Now, I went and looked up a similar one, only this is closed loop, and you notice that what we say this one was 208. So, not a whole lot of difference. I mean, it's a little more, but not like double or triple what
Yeah.
like what it used to be not all that long ago. But this is a 4-axis closed loop stepper, same 3 Newton meter, basically 425 ounce in the NEMA 23 frame, and it comes with the cables, same kind of deal, the power supplies, all that stuff, everything you need to throw one together. Now, okay, so we're at 208 for the open, 273 for the closed. Now, let's go take a look. And by the way, Stepper Online, if you haven't ever visited that site, I would encourage you to go visit it because they have all kinds of stuff. They've even got a lot more stuff that I didn't know they had before. They've got spindles, I mean, just all kinds of stuff CNC related, not just drivers and motors. Now here is I picked this one because it's a 400 watt, which would be I think kind of like a NEMA 23 as far as the steppers, but this is a DC servo motor, and you notice the big difference. The price is cheaper, $121, but that's just for one motor and one
Yeah.
driver.
One encoder.
So yeah. So uh, you pick or take that times four. So now you're looking at nearly $500 to buy a thing of four. So yeah, what Google Gemini said in that earlier thing is that they are uh, that is one of the cons is that they're more expensive, but depending on how serious of a hobbyist you are or how serious of a CNC person you are, that might not be that big a deal to spend $500 versus the 208 for the open or 273 for the um, closed loop. But I think, like Google Gemini said, for most people, the sweet spot is going to be uh, the closed loop steppers because you get you know y- something that's going to help you if it loses steps. Like I said, a lot of times if it loses steps, if it can't correct it, it's still going to stop. But at least you'll get an alarm and you might be able to recover. Whereas on an open loop, you forget it. It mess up when you see it ruin your workpiece. That's
Yeah.
basically it. So
Uh, Jerry says that Stepper Online has an Amazon store, and yes, they do. And they sometimes you can actually get them cheaper from their Amazon store.
yeah, like I said, I did those as screenshots. Let me go to their site and then I'll share my screen again and we'll go take a look real quick at some of the other stuff that they have because they've really expanded their product line, I
Oh
think.
yeah.
So if I come back over here, here's kind of where I was looking. You know, you got hybrid stepper motors. I mean, just all kinds, all the way AC servo motors, DC servo motors. But then you come over here. Of course, there's some special motors. Um, let's go to the linear motion. They sell the ball screws, all of that kind of stuff. Uh, just a ton of different things. Gearboxes, PLC, switching power supplies,
Touch screens.
VFD, and spindle kits. Let's click on that just for giggles here. Yeah, see this are now I don't know how good these are, but this is 200. Okay, that's 1.25, or I mean 1.5 kilowatt.
Yeah,
That seems awful cheap to me.
yeah. I wish you could get it as a 110 volt, but
Yeah, me too.
Well, let's see. You can get air cooled or water cooled.
yeah, it looks like those are the only two.
Yeah, maybe that's the only two. All right, well, let me go back to here. You've got couplers, motor brackets. I mean, pretty much. And I love a good DIY build. If you're building your own CNC machine or some other kind of machine, they pretty much got you covered. They have all kinds of different things. But, and not,
Next time somebody asks you where you can get couplers, you just send them there, huh?
Yeah,
yeah, well, I have been sending them to, well, actually, I can find what I want on Amazon. Somebody's always selling it. The kind of couplers I like. Let's see if I can find one here. I don't like those kind, the flexible kind, because those are like a big spring that if you screw up. I think I saw them earlier when I was looking on here, the kind that I like to buy. And yeah, right here. It's got that little orange.
whipping thing.
It's not rubber, but it's I don't know what the heck that thing is. But anyway, let's see. All right, 6.35. That's a quarter inch. Uh, yeah, here's what I get right here, and they're $3.26. So 6.35 millimeters. That's a quarter inch, which would go on your stepper motor if you have a quarter-inch shaft. And then 10 millimeter is usually the diameter of the end of the ball screw where you attach it. So that's what you need. And you can save $3.26. Now, that's probably shipped from China.
Yep.
So that's why that's so cheap, I guess. And it doesn't have a place to say US like the other things did. But I have found these exact same things on Amazon uh, for not much more than that. They're probably less than $10 anyway, or $7. I don't know. I don't really remember what they were, but uh, not not bad at all. I don't think. But yeah, they've got all kinds of stuff. New product. What is that? Single output. Is that a relay thing or what is that thing? 48 volts, 12.5 amp, single output with remote sense. I'm not even sure what that thing is.
Looks like a power supply.
with remote sense. Yeah, somebody have to tell me what that is. Somebody that's smarter than me, because I don't really even know what that is. But yeah, all kinds of different stuff. Here's the CNC spindle motors. If you want to get just the motor. See, now
There's a 110 down below.
this is 115, and this is for the 2.2 kilowatt, 220 volt, 400 hertz ER20. So that's pretty much what I've got in my machine out there right now. So if I need to replace just that, yeah, there's a 110 one. Uh, so I'm wondering, was there a place where they sold the,
Speed controller down at the bottom there. Yep.
right there? Yeah, they only show those two when it
Yeah,
comes to
but
this.
go back to electrical, and down towards the bottom they have a speed controller. Maybe it'll be listed there. Nope. No. I
Yeah,
thought.
that's not what you were thinking of it.
I was hoping they had VFDs in there.
Yeah. Well, they do have variable frequency drive here. 220 volt. Where's one that's 110, I think.
Three
Yeah.
phase.
These definitely look a lot different than the little hung yangs that you see on
Yeah.
Amazon, which is what I have. But yeah, still might be okay. I don't know. You probably find something worse. See what they got on sale here. Hmm. Nothing. Nothing too great there. But anyway, lots of stuff on there. Lots and lots of stuff.
Sweet. Very cool, sir.
All right, I wanted to go through the comments here. I see JR's in the house. How you doing, JR? Hope you're doing well.
Down in Alabama.
Tim says the only time my system has missed a step is when forgetting to add tabs and a piece of material binds the bit. Yeah, it happens.
I don't go that way.
Or if you don't forget, you put tabs in it, but not healthy enough tabs, and they break. That's always a bummer too.
Yeah.
But yeah, so kudos to Masso in expanding their product line and going with the servo motors, which, since it's not that they're just selling servo drivers and servo motors, it's their servo motors and servo drivers. So naturally, they're going to work with the Masso controller perfectly. So, um, I saw that one, Marcelo. I think that would be the one I'd have to get to replace. And I had I don't know if I've told this story before. I probably have before, but I bought and this is several years ago. They were more expensive then than they are now. But I bought the Hung Yang. I don't know if I'm saying that right, uh,
Close
but
enough.
but the Hung Yang 2.2 water cooled spindle kit off of Amazon, and it came with the VFD, the water cooled spindle. It came with the mount, although the mount didn't have any holes in it. You had to make your own holes into that cast aluminum mount. Uh, Came with a little box of all those collets of metric sizes that I'll never use. Came with a whole set of those things. Let's see, what else did it come with?
A pump, probably.
Yeah. You're right, Paul. It came with a little pump that you're supposed to put in a 5 gallon bucket, and then that way your water can get all nasty and stuff. But anyways, that's what I bought, and really what I still have. But I remember one time I had company in my shop, and I was doing something, and all of a sudden you hear a pop, and then smell that dreaded
Oh,
electronic smoke coming from my VFD. And I'm like, well, what the heck? I didn't do anything, just trying to run it. And so I called my buddy Jim, which is my electrician. Uh, you know, he lives right around the corner, and he came right over, and he says, well, that thing is fried. He says, but he goes, I think I know what did it. He goes, you do not have a good enough, and I don't know how to say it because I'm not an electrician, but my voltage or whatever was not stable enough. So he says, I'm going to get a line conditioner and put on this thing. And so I said, okay. So I went on Amazon, started searching for the VFD, and you could not find just the VFD. So I ended up buying a whole nother set. And at the time it was like $400 for all of that I mentioned. So I, I turned around and spent another $400. And of course, Amazon delivered. I had it within a day or two. And it was just a simple matter of switching the VFD out. But in the meantime, before we fired it up again, my buddy Jim came over and he added I'm calling it a line conditioner. Maybe it's a
yeah,
contactor, and
yeah.
I don't know. Ryan probably knows what it is. But anyway, he hooked that all up, and I've never had any trouble since then. So, uh, and then good old Hung Wang, or however you say it, they made good on the warranty and sent me a new. I had to send them the fried one back, but they eventually sent me another VFD. So now I not only had the $400 kit, I had a spare $400 kit. And I held on to it for a long time. And then I finally gave it away to somebody because I said, I'm not ever going to use this. And they had hit it around saying they want, they'd like to have a spindle. And I go, I can hook you up. I'll send it to you. So it's gone now. So if I have any trouble, um, with either one, the VFD or the spindle, I'll be having to get another one, which I'll probably maybe shop here on Stepper Online or whatever. So, but anywho, that's that little story. Let's see. Sean's in that. Excuse me. Sean's in the house. Good evening, Sean. Hope you're doing well. Well, that's going to about do it for me. I don't really have anything else. I just thought it was kind of cool that Masso's coming out with that. Now, it's probably not. Well, you saw what Masso they had. What was it for the? I don't even remember now. Let me go back to it if I can find it again. Well, where is it? Okay, here they are. Yeah, they've already got them on their website. So they're starting out with like and again it's one motor, a couple of cables, and the driver encoder, whatever they call it, starts at like 280. So you can see theirs are going to be quite a bit more than what the little Chinese ones from Stepper Online would be. So probably not a real good choice for a hobbyist unless you are like deep pockets and super serious hobbyist. Uh, you know, but but you got to remember Masso, and I think a lot of people forget this. Masso isn't just selling to us hobby CNC guys. They're selling all over the world to companies that have spent thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars on this high dollar equipment years ago, and it needs an upgrade. The mechanical machine is fine. Maybe just needs a little refresh. Maybe they pull the linear rails off and replace those or something. But their old uh, proprietary system that drove the machine, and maybe that company's not even around anymore. So that's what you see a lot of Masso doing, is selling to, going in these big plants and just, hey, we can redo all your machines. They'll all be on the same controller. You can do the what's it called, the Masso Link, uh, drag and drop files to whatever machine you want. I mean, it's a slick outfit. So it's not, I think a lot of people think, oh, Masso's so expensive. Well, they're not just, they're not just for us little hobbyist guys. They're big time player. So uh, Rob says, check out Vivor. They have spindle kits. I can't see US dollars. Yeah. Um, I'll have to look. I'm not a fan of Vivor. I'm gonna tell you that. They just they make, it's like they want to get a finger in every single pie. And usually a company that makes everything or tries to make everything, they're
Well,
half-assed at everything.
they rebrand everything.
Yeah, yeah. So Jerry said he sent me a pic on Messenger. Let's see what he's got here. I'm glad you told me because I got my phone on silent. I didn't hear it. Oh, it's a screenshot. Yeah, I know that guy there. He's showing the maker spotlight. Uh,
Oh
I'm
yeah,
not going to bother showing it here, Jerry, because I've already posted it in the Facebook groups and stuff. But yeah, Masso did a nice write up, I guess. Um, they have that little thing. What's it called? Makers Spotlight, and they did a nice little article in their newsletter and stuff about me, and that was very nice of them. But I'm gonna tell you, I love that Massa, that G3 Touch. That's the bomb right there.
heck yeah.
Rock solid. This ain't, like I said, this ain't their first rodeo, and they're not just worrying about little hobbyist people. They're playing with the big boys, so
Mhm.
uh, they do a great job. All righty. Anything else? Anybody got any other questions, or I don't guess I missed any comments. I don't look like I did. What about you, Ryan? You got anything you want to cuss or discuss?
Um. Uh. So all right. So question about closed loop steppers. Like when I was the other day, I was watching um, the Onefinity assembly video for their version 2 of their Elite Foreman, and it looks like the drivers were built into the steppers themselves. I thought, and I mean they're closed loop. I thought that's how.
Well, I think the encoder is built into the thing. I think they still use a separate driver in the controller, I believe.
Okay.
I could be wrong, you
Well,
know.
the driver, the CNC. Real time CNC is what they're calling it. I mean, it's a box like
today.
that big. I mean, it's not that. It's not big enough to put a bunch of big drivers in, but it makes
Yeah,
Well,
because they've
no,
already moved on.
well, that's
They've
like the
already,
Masso. The drivers aren't inside the Masso; they're hanging off the side of my machine. I'm still using the DM542 drivers, but yeah, I mean, I could be wrong because I'm looking at this. Well, let's since you done asked, let's.
because Onefinity's already moved on from the red line, haven't they?
the
I think they're just rebranding it again or
yeah.
something.
What?
Uh, I, I don't know. I can't
Can't make
keep
up
up with
their
those
mind.
folks. Let's see here. Let me go back to. Well, I'm on the Masso site here. Let's go look at their uh, closed loop things because they sell a whole.
Yeah, their whole kit's about $1,800, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so. Uh, and I'm trying to. Okay, here's. Okay, now this. Well, how do you get? Oh, view details. See, their 3 Newton meter four motor CNC system. Uh, it looks like the motors have a big old thing on it too. But I
Yeah, I
think
thought that was how all the closed loop ones would be, but
oh,
I guess I was wrong. I've never used closed loop steppers, so I don't know.
okay. Now here, let me share this. Here's a picture of the motor. You can see you got this
Yeah,
right here. It's got power, alarm. Uh,
yeah. I'm guessing that cover comes off and there's terminals in them.
See now, this is showing what's in the kit. So there's the core. Come on. There's the pendant. There's the motor, closed loop motor. There's one of the cables that goes to it. There's this thing, which I'm not sure what that is.
Flux capacitor.
There's power supply, another power supply. So, well, if I can get back to. So, see, they show a whole bunch of stuff here. I don't know why they have these pictures so little. You can't see anything. Middle router without motors. Okay. Okay, so that's four motors, but one with a brake that you would put on the Z. But see, I can't click on this, but see how you got that big
Yeah,
thing looking on the thing. So maybe they do have now, and I don't see anything that looks like a driver. I'm not even sure. Oh, okay, that's a relay. Okay, if you hold it over there, that's what I thought it was. Okay, but this is the yeah, one of these is with the brake. That's the one with the brake, I think, and that's one without the brake. So I don't see any drivers like what we're used to seeing. So that may be, you may be right. It may be the encoder and the driver all combined at the motor like that. Which I think somebody said that before with the 150 that they said the drivers are all built right on the motors.
yeah. I mean, I mean, the way it was wired up, it looked like it.
Yeah, you just can't. They just don't have big enough pictures for somebody as blind as I am. But yeah, and they don't have a way to do a different view. But that's all what's on the
We need to talk to Jack.
built
Hey,
right into the.
pictures there, pal.
Yeah, they're just too small for me. Even after you click on them, but when you buy this kit, like I said, well, if we come back to the let's see, a four motor. Yeah, here's the four motor system, and you can see it's 2135. So it's
Hmm.
okay now with the systems. Okay, so it's about 2 grand, looks like. So, but it does come with, like I said, it's all in one thing. So if you're getting ready to build a new machine or maybe refurbish an older machine, you get this whole package here. Everything you need. Yeah, turnkey motion control system. So, but it's not for the budget type people. Like I said, this is they make good stuff, and good stuff usually you got to pay for. So,
Yep.
all right, let's see. Did I miss any comments? I don't think there's any new
Oh,
ones on here. No, looks like we're good. All right, well, I guess we'll get out of here. Hope everybody enjoyed seeing my little aluminum video.
yeah.
If you
Can't wait
need,
to
if
see
you
what you're
want to play
making.
around with aluminum or anything that would require an O flute, go see the Cody man because he makes some good ones right here. I was really happy with it. Like I said, the worst thing that was about it is I had to go dig up my 1/8 collet because I never use a 1/8 collet. But once I found that and was able to use the 1/8, you saw it. It went right through that stuff. And that was 3/8 thick aluminum. Just chewed it right up.
Nice.
So
Can't wait to see what we're building there, sir.
you'll see sometime soon.
Something with the NEMA 23 motor.
Sometime soon.
Merry-go-round.
Now that you got that fancy bit, there's no reason why you can't round off those edges.
This is
Well,
true.
these have a little radius on them.
Oh yeah,
That's nice.
Right?
We're making progress.
Yeah,
yeah.
baby steps.
It's a process.
You guys aren't going to let me live that down, are you? My machine still runs circles around most people's machines, and
Sure
even
would.
with them old pointy edges on the thing.
Yep.
Yeah, you're
You'll
right.
poke your eyes out too.
Maybe one day I'll replace them. Now that I've got good O flute bits that can cut aluminum, maybe I'll replace them with something a little fancier. But you know, I'm all about I don't care how pretty it is. Does it work? If it works, then that's all I'm worried about. So,
Heck yeah.
all right, Mr. Paul, you got any parting words for our audience?
My only comment is that hole in the blue tarp a peephole?
What's that again?
What?
The hole in the blue tarp behind Ryan, is that a peephole?
Oh no, it's just a worn out hole.
Sounds like, or it looks like he needs to go to Hobo Freight and get some more
It
Yeah,
was the first
three
tarp I
dollar,
grabbed out of the garage.
some of the $3 tarps from Hobo Freight.
That's what it is. That's why it's all discolored.
Yeah, they don't last but about one use. If the wind's blowing and
Yep,
they're ripping
that's about
apart.
all that one has on it.
Yeah. So, all right. What about you, Ryan? You want to plug your
Oh,
thing
sure.
Saturday?
Yeah, we got the Saturday night. We got the making it up as we go, where we're talking about the lathe and CNC laser and 3D printing videos that are out there, and usually the stuff that I've done horribly wrong or bought off of Facebook Marketplace. Um, and this week, I guess we'll be talking about what's behind the blue tarp too. So Saturday
I'll
night,
be tuning in to see that.
dun, 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 dun. Friday 7 a.m. video comes out. I already scheduled it.
Yeah. John Thompson's asking about Bear. Bear is fine. That was just a checkup. I've had him, I don't know, 6 weeks, 7 weeks, something like that. And so I just needed to get him over there. He wasn't really due for he'd already had his rabies shots last June and some other stuff last July. So it was just kind of a checkup to get him in get him as a patient at the vet that I'm going to use. And also, you have to have a prescription to get the heart guard medicine and the flea and tick next guard type stuff. You can't just get online and buy it. You got to have a vet
Yeah,
prescribe it. So that's another reason, because it's starting to get warm and the fleas are going to start getting crazy, and I want to get a jump on that. So
we
uh,
used some pure.
once I get him on that, I give him that stuff the year round.
Yeah,
So he's doing good. Just a little checkup. So
sweet.
all right, well, we're going to get out of here. Thanks everybody for tuning in. If you got anything you're making out in your shop, you want to show it off, send me pictures, man. I hadn't had any pictures in a while. Every once in a while, somebody would send me some pictures of different things. So love to see the pictures. Or if you're just building a machine, you know how I am about DIY machines. I love them too. So send me what you got. All right, I guess we'll say goodnight and we'll see y'all next week.
See ya.
Yeah.